morning, everyone, and happy Saturday to you. I'm a little late. Oh, I'm wrong. It's actually good afternoon, everyone. I'm a little late with my video because I woke up this morning and laid in the bed extra long and decided to take my own advice and switch up my routine. The sun is shining here where I live. The skies are a beautiful shade of blue. So I decided to go for a walk. And so I went for my walk this morning, and then I came in and did the exercise that I've been following, a 31-day routine. I'm now on day 22. I didn't want to miss a day, so I did that, and guess what? I am tired, but I feel good that I actually got some exercise in, some movement in, some sunlight in, vitamin D. And for those who may be worrying, well, what about social distancing? The route that I take, I walk in my neighborhood, and I pick this walk because I tend not to see other people walking. And so I can walk, and if I do see people, I cross the street. Or I I move away and give them space to move past me. Yes, I take my social distancing very serious. I am almost 65 years old. I have some medical situations that put me in a high risk category. So I try to make sure that I do the things that I do for me. But enough about me. Yesterday, your assignment, well, 2 days ago, your assignment was to write 3 things you liked about yourself, 3 affirmations. I am, I am, I am. Yesterday's assignment was to ask someone who knows you 3 things that are positive about you that they have noticed. And what I want to kind of follow up is, for some of you, you didn't ask anybody anything. You probably didn't even do your own list. And in a way, that's okay because it gives us a baseline. It doesn't mean that, you're behind the curve. It simply gives us something to kind of look at. For those who are not able to write even one thing positive about themselves, that gives us information about how you really feel about you. And so for some people only wrote 1, and I encourage you to try to get at least 3. Now, some of you did not ask anyone 3 things that they felt were positive about you because your brain, your post-trauma brain, your non-trusting brain, and I say that with all loving kindness, but the part of you that does not feel safe did not feel safe to ask anyone because that part of your brain said, I wonder what they're going to say. I wonder what bad things they're going to say. And even if they say good things, I wonder if they really mean it. So for some folk, even being able to hear good things, you're not necessarily in that space right now because the reptilian part of your brain questions everything. If someone says, you're really nice, you're really kind, your reptilian part of your brain says, they don't know me really well. If they only knew. So again, if you have not asked anyone, I encourage you to walk through your fear, walk through your distrust, and ask someone, tell me 3 positive things that you've noticed about me. Now, if you've done all of that, I commend you, and we are moving right along. If you haven't, I still commend you because we're still moving right along. We're taking baby steps. And sometimes our baby step is just to prepare ourselves to want to be able to do the task at hand. Sometimes we're not ready. Sometimes we need to give ourselves permission to get ready. And sometimes getting ready is not overnight. It's not because this lady in the video told me to. It's because I've kind of thought about it. I wrestled with it. And maybe a month from now, 2 months from now, whenever, I'll actually do it. This is somewhat not related, but I'm going to make it related. It reminded me of when I first started therapy. And so when I went to a workshop, and it was done by a psychologist. And at the end, I asked for her card. And because I knew that I probably needed to talk to someone. But guess what? It took me 3 whole years to actually dial that phone number. I kid you not. 3 whole years. And I kept the card. I would look at it occasionally. I would touch it occasionally. I would even bring it to the phone. But it took me 3 years to make the call. Now, people may say I was procrastinating. I want to frame it as I was taking baby steps. I did not throw the card away. I looked at it. I continued to keep it in my sight. And I continued to ponder until I was finally able to walk through my fear. Because I was afraid when I dialed that phone. And trust me, I was even more fearful when I met the person who I was assigned to, because she owned an agency. The person who I was assigned to, I was even more frightened meeting this therapist for the first time. But guess what? I did it. I took baby steps to get there. So whatever your process is, we want to celebrate your baby steps. We want to celebrate you wherever you are. Now, the next part of the assignment, for those who are ready for the next part, you've listed 3 things you like about yourself. You asked someone who knows you 3 positive things about you. Now I want you to specifically ask one of your children. And if you have more than one child, ask them all. Now, here is the caveat. If you are estranged from one of your children, if you all are, as they say, beefing right now, then you may not be in a place to do this exercise with them. But if things are pretty cool, things are all right, if they are simply irritating you, but the feel is not necessarily mutual, and y'all know that can happen, that our children can irritate us, but they may not necessarily feel the same way. We know how that goes, because the reptilian part of our brain can constantly feeds us negative messages. But I would invite you to ask your children to just give you 3 things, 3 positive things that they've noticed about you. And if you're not at a place where you feel like you can tolerate hearing those things, having a face-to-face or telephone conversation, ask them to text it to you. Ask them to text it to you. If you're afraid that you may need some time before you read the text, ask them to email it to you. Now, if you have small children who can't do either, then you probably need to go ahead and ask. And if your child can talk, if your child's able to understand, what do you like about mommy? What's some good things about mommy? Ask them and see what they come up with. They may say, I like because you always look out for me. I like that. Now, I like that you cook well. Now, granted, if you ask, the younger the child is, their response is going to have more to do with how they experience your care of them. Or they may say you're pretty. But I invite you to ask your children. Now, if you're like me, I'm in my 60s, my children are all adults, pick up the phone and ask them. If your kids are teenagers and you ain't liking them so well and they not liking you so well, because y'all know the teen years can be a bit challenging. And if you think it's just your kids, remember you were a teen at one time and you were quite challenging yourself. But still, I invite you to take a risk and say, what are 3 things that you like about me? And on that note, I would invite you, if you live in an area where the sun is shining, go out and enjoy the sun, practicing social distancing. If you're living in a place where the weather's not that great, I invite you to find something to do today, just one thing that puts a smile on your face on purpose. Talk to you probably not tomorrow, because Sunday is the day that I kind of replenish my own spirit, that I kind of fill myself up after I've given so much to you all during the week. So I will probably check in with you as a video on Monday. Have a wonderful Saturday. Love you. Bye-bye.